All right. What's up, co-counsels? It's been a minute. I think I was here last week, though. I think. I don't remember when I was here sometime last week. All right. So let's get started with a ghost of Karen Reed. This case cannot escape me, or it cannot escape us. It won't go away. And I suppose it's forever going to haunt the folks out there in Canton and other parts of Massachusetts. All right. So Adam Lally took the stand yesterday in a different case, though. All right. So we're quickly going to review that. And then I found some footage of Lally on the stand. I was trying to find a really good, I was trying to find the original. Wait, now that I think about it, I need to see if it's on Law and Crime because I found some videos. The videos that I found were more so other folks' channels, and I'm not trying to get into that mess. Okay, what's up, Benji? How have you been? I had a great weekend. I went to Canton, Massachusetts. I recorded some videos. I have to chop them up and post them on here. Um, I'm probably not even probably. I definitely have to have a voiceover because my daughter was talking, the music was playing, a lot was going on. But did you have a good weekend, my dear? All right, let us get into this. All right, so this is being reported by masslive.com. Title reads: Karen Reed prosecutor takes the witness stand as lawyers push to dismiss separate murder case. So a Norfolk County prosecutor took the witness stand Monday morning as a defense lawyer moved to dismiss a 2021 murder case. He once served as the lead prosecutor in over the apparent failure by the district attorney's office to turn over key evidence. So the defense attorney, who represents a defendant by the name of Miles King, a man charged with a 2021 shooting, questioned Assistant District Attorney Adam Lally for more than an hour at an evidentiary hearing. All right, so Benji had a good weekend. The weather has been nice, and he's at work now. That's good. That's good. So the defense attorney pressed Lally for an explanation as to why hundreds of pages of evidence were not turned over until this year, shortly after a new prosecutor took over the case. The defense attorney is asking a judge to sanction prosecutors for the late disclosures. The most recent sanction would be dismissing the case of King, who's accused of shooting 25-year-old Marquis Simmons while he rode his moped in Milton in July of 2021. King was arrested 2 years before the shooting. Wait, what? King was arrested 2 years before the shooting when prosecutors say they found him with a loaded gun outside Simmons' home, according to another outlet. King was slated to go. Okay, he was arrested. I suppose he was not remanded or he was let go at some point. Confusing reporting, but let's move on. So King was slated to go to trial this fall. His defense attorney has said the new evidence she received this year from the prosecutor who took over from Lally has changed the landscape of certain aspects of the case at the last minute. So this is what the judge, not the judge, the defense attorney was saying. This court should send a message to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office that their lax policy and repeated failure to comply with orders of this court and with the due process rights of defendants warrant dismissal of this case, she wrote in the motion to dismiss. So Lally's testimony, this is a summary. We're going to watch the video here in a little bit. But I had to give background for myself because I saw this was happening yesterday, did not really pay much attention to it because I'm trying to keep up with Washington v. Ali and Ali. And that trial has not really gained much traction. After you guys know, I don't really put a lot of weight on expert testimony. I just don't because anything and everything is possible when it comes to experts. And I suppose after Fatima testified, I've not really seen compelling testimony from anybody else. Let me move on. I digress. So, Lally's testimony. On the stand Monday morning, Lally had few explanations to offer for why the evidence wasn't turned over sooner. It wasn't something that I knew was outstanding. It was something I asked for in written form multiple times, he said, of 6 search warrants obtained by investigators. The investigator responsible for King's case was, drumroll, former Massachusetts state police trooper Michael Proctor, and he was fired for misconduct in the Karen Reed case. And that's why I've titled this "The Ghost of Karen Reed," because Karen Reed, she's just not going away. All right, and obviously Proctor's failures are going to pretty much carry on or seep into other cases. Uh, Lally said he repeatedly asked Proctor for the search warrants, but only received portions of two. In any case, he prosecutes. In any case, he prosecutes. Lally said he keeps a running list of evidence he knows needs to be turned over to defense lawyers, marking items as they're turned over. As the defense attorney pressed on the warrant issue, Lally often said he couldn't recall specific dates or times of conversations with Proctor, but insisted he continue to ask for the warrant and other outstanding evidence. If there was some outstanding item of discovery, I would request it and follow up if I hadn't seen it, Lally said. In other cases, Lally said he had at times gone over the head of Proctor or another investigator to Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully, the former supervisor of the detectives unit assigned to the district attorney's office. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I saw a headline sometime last week. I saw a headline, did not really read the article, but I saw a headline that Tully has been, it appears to be a demotion, but he is no longer in the position that he was at the time of Karen Reed's trial. And I suppose, uh, I'm assuming one of two things. The one, I am assuming that he was demoted as a result of the Karen Reed verdict. But if it's a decision that the department had already made prior to the conclusion of the Karen Reed trial, then I am inclined to believe that they waited for him to testify and for the trial to conclude before creating or adding another layer for Karen Reed's attorneys to attack. What I mean by that is his testimony probably would have weighed less had he been demoted at the time that he testified, but that was not the case. All right, let's move on. So apparently, Lally said he could not recall if he had done so in King's case. There were a number of meetings in relation to discovery that Lieutenant Tully was present for, along with Trooper Proctor, but going specifically to his office to demand 6 search warrants, I don't recall, he said. Defense attorney noted that Lally never mentioned the issue with the warrants to a judge at a discovery hearings in the case. But you had your list, right? You had your list that said 6 search warrants outstanding, right? You didn't ever check that off, right? So you knew they were outstanding, right? Apparently, this is the line of cross examination that Lally had to undergo, and he basically answered yes or in the affirmative to these questions. Defense attorney did not conclude her questioning of Lally before the scheduled end of the evidentiary hearing. And then we move on to Proctor, okay? So Proctor was the lead investigator in the King case, and he, excuse me, and he signed the 6 search warrants that were the primary issue addressed on Monday's morning. I need to, hold on, I need to take a sip. My throat. All right, so Proctor had signed the 6 search warrants that were the primary issue addressed on Monday morning. Defense attorney told reporters outside the courthouse that there were still unanswered questions about whether Proctor simply refused to turn over the evidence Lally asked for, or if he never had the evidence in his possession. Still, she laid most of the blame at the feet of the prosecutors. Every DA has an obligation to make sure they understand the evidence that's out there. They understand what evidence is available because they have an obligation to turn it over to the defense, correct? Defense attorney subpoenaed Proctor to appear at the hearing, but he did not show. Okay, I don't know why he did not show. He did not show. Apparently, Proctor's lawyer said, okay, this is unbelievable, but apparently, Proctor's lawyer said that Proctor was on vacation. Okay, he was on vacation, and that's why he did not show. That's according to King's defense attorney. He just didn't show up, almost like his thumbing his nose at the court, she said. I don't know many people that get ordered to be here and they just don't show. I guess Proctor feels like he has nothing else to lose. So he's out there vacationing, allegedly. I don't know this to be true. So the latest closure of the evidence in this case has violated King's rights to a speedy trial. That's according to his defense attorney. If prosecutors had turned over the evidence they apparently had, including the warrant, King would have gone to trial, would have gone on trial this fall. What has taken place in the King case is not an isolated mishap. That's what his lawyer said. I do believe it's not an isolated incident. I do believe this case with Brianna Gardner in Miles King is not an isolated incident in this county, she told reporters after the hearing. So connections to Karen Reed, okay? Again, this is why it's the ghost of Karen Reed. They'll be haunting these people for centuries to come. So the King case isn't the first time that the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office has come under fire for late disclosure of evidence. In February, lawyers for Karen Reed filed a motion to dismiss her murder case, which Lally was a prosecutor on, over prosecutors' failure to disclose surveillance videos from the Canton police station. I actually drove past. The Canton police station. That was on Sunday, though. It was unplanned. I actually had it on my. I had it as a pit stop, but we were behind schedule. We were running behind schedule. We're like little feral cats, okay? So I figured, no, first stop would be CF McCarthy's. But as as we were on our way to CF McCarthy, we literally drove past Canton Police. It was, I don't know, it this Canton Place, very quaint town. It's actually really beautiful. Quaint, beautiful, look like a nice little town or neighborhood or whatever. Um, and everything is within close proximity to each other. This police station is about, I'm gonna have to look at the actual videos. I've not watched them since I recorded them, but the police station is about maybe 7 minutes away from CF McCarthy. That's the bar where they were drinking, and then CF McCarthy is about 5 6 minutes away from 34 Fairview, and then 34 Fairview was about 5 or 6 minutes away from One Meadow. So everything was within close proximity. Okay, let's move on. I'm getting distracted. Getting distracted. So, in that instance, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan laid much of the blame at Proctor's feet, saying the former trooper did not tell Lally surveillance footage existed. Judge Beverly Cannoni ultimately denied the motion to dismiss without convening an evidentiary hearing, such as the one that took place Monday morning. Reed's retrial ended blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't know. They're talking about if you purchase a product or register for an account. I don't know what that's about. So we're going to skip over that. Okay. Let's see. I suppose because I had pulled up an additional article that I prepared to go over as it relates to Proctor, but we know that Michael Proctor's on vacation. That was his reasoning for not showing up to the evidentiary hearing. Okay. Actually, I'm getting more information about King here. Let's see. So Miles King is accused of shooting Simmons in the upper left chest to shoulder outside. What? In the upper left chest to shoulder? Oh, no, that doesn't make sense to me. Outside his mother's home in Milton just before 6 p.m. on July 10, 2021. Simmons allegedly identified his killer as Mizzy Cash, a stage name prosecutors say King used and had an Instagram and YouTube account under, to an officer at the scene before losing consciousness. I guess that would be considered a dying confession. So King is a rare case of a first-degree murder defendant released on bail, a move taken this summer following the defense motion to dismiss. Okay. All right. Apparently, they don't give people bail like that out there in Massachusetts. Let's see. Okay, that's just more of the attorney. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. All right, let's first go to, this is the video. No, that's not it. This is the video that I wanted to play, but I don't want to mess around with other people's channels like that. So let's see if Law and Crime, let's see if they actually, no, they've moved on to other things. I wanted to see if they had streamed yesterday's evidentiary hearing. Nope, they have moved on to some other stuff. Maybe a video. Let's see. I've been watching part of this. I guess this is the sentencing part. Shelby Neely, he's convicted of offing his in-laws, and I don't think he's okay. I really do not think he's not all the way there. Those are just my 2 cents. Nope, I don't see it. All right, let's try Law and Crime something. I think it's called Network. Let's see if they have a live stream. I got distracted. What's going on? Pregnant something. Uh-oh. Let us see. I don't see it here. Nope. Oh, and Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp said he does not want graphic details of his sexual life to be publicized. So he settled that case, okay? All right. And Brian Kohlberger, he gets sentenced tomorrow. I don't see it, so I suppose we just need to go on that channel. I think it was Lally. I don't see it. Lally. Is that it? I think it was this. Yep.
Stamped in the
Shout out to the
notice of discovery 28.
Audio is terrible.
It's a little difficult for me to figure out whether this is entirely new based on the chart or whether it's
Can we just get
some similar document or similar information, but in a different form or what have you. But take any line, you know, I mean, take Bates number 1.
Hold on. I'm getting distracted, but I was wondering, hold on, let me just do this one more time. I'm wondering if one of these news channels or outlets would have the actual hearing.
Yes, Michael Proctor has.
That audio sounds so much better. I should have looked this up. You guys know I'd be winging this stuff. I should have found or tried to find different videos before I came up here. They're talking about some other stuff. What's going on now? Dang, that's crazy. Let's see. Nope. No, they don't have it up here. That's okay. Audio is not too good though. All right, I'll play it either way.
Take Bates number 114 towards the bottom of page 13. Mm-hmm. I guess it's item 114, Bates number 228 to 232.
Hold on, where?
Milton Police Department incident report is the way it's identified.
Right.
And there's an indication here provided
I don't
to Attorney John
understand,
Geary.
though.
Correct.
So it looks to me like you're saying that this document, although recently produced by ADA Hickman, was previously produced by ADA Lally
To the prior council.
to prior council, and presumably to this council also, because I'm sure all the documents were, all the discovery was reproduced when new council came in. So I don't know if there's a dispute about whether item 114 in discovery packet 28 is or isn't different.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to get my arms around.
I understand that, Judge, and we've gone through those, and we've pulled them, and we've pulled out the original
Hearing?
that we got in 2021, if there actually was an original, and then we'll put it together with what we got in 2025. Wait, this was Lally first, because he was the first.
Is any other witnesses, lawyers?
Good morning, Mr. Lally. In a loud, clear voice, could you please state your
Hickman, she's counsel,
Yeah.
she's counsel of record now, and an officer of the court, and I'm confident that we do not need to extend the sequestration order to her. Your objection's preserved, Attorney Costa, to the extent you join in the objection.
I'm joining the objection, Your Honor.
And you have a standing joining of objections, if you wish, all defense counsel.
Thank you.
Okay, but others should be sequestered.
The witnesses are sequestered. Thank you. Now. Raise your right hand, face the clerk, please. You solemnly swear the evidence you give the court in the case now and hearing true, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Lally. In a loud, clear voice, could you please state your name, spelling your first and last name for the record?
Sure. Adam Lally, ADAM, last name Lally.
And what do you do for a living, Mr. Lally?
Assistant District Attorney with the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office
And how long have you worked for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office?
since 2005.
20 years?
Yes, almost.
What did you do before you worked for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office?
Started with the District Attorney's Office straight out of law school. Worked a couple warehouse jobs, things like that during.
Sorry,
I worked a few warehouse jobs, things like that during law school. Went to school at night.
okay. And what school did you go to?
Suffolk.
Suffolk Law?
Yes.
And undergrad?
Undergrad, I went to the University of Southern California.
Okay.
Okay.
And what was your well, at some point, how long were you in the office before you got assigned to the homicide squad? Oh, homicide unit, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure that it's an assignment to the homicide unit. I would say the first homicide that I had outside of the realm of motor vehicle homicide was probably 2015, somewhere in there.
That's what I
Okay.
figured.
And let me back up a little. What type of training did the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office offer you in order for you to be able to comply with Rule 14 discovery?
Objection.
Wait, what's the question?
In order for you to be able to, did the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office offer you in order for you to be able to comply with Rule 14 discovery?
Objection.
Sustained.
So when you started at the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, you sat in district court?
Yes.
Okay. And how many district court cases would you say you tried?
I have no idea. A lot.
More than 100?
Probably.
Okay. And in all of those cases, were you able to comply with Rule 14 discovery and turn over the discovery that was required under Rule 14?
Objection.
Sustained.
Let me ask you this. The hundreds of cases that you tried in district court, was there ever any allegation that you didn't turn over information?
Objection.
Overruled.
No.
Okay. And then at some point you moved to Superior Court. When was that?
Began working on Superior Court cases probably in 2006, full-time assigned to Superior Court in 2012.
Okay. When you say full-time assigned to Superior Court, what does that mean?
So what that means is during the interim period from 2006 to 2012, I had cases in Superior Court, but I was primarily assigned to the District Court.
So you were trying cases in the Superior Court, but you were still trying cases in the District Court?
Correct. Actually, I still do that to this day.
Okay.
You still try cases in the district court as well?
I do.
Okay. But you said at sometime in 2012, you were assigned to the Superior Court. Does that mean you came here every day?
Correct.
Okay. And what type of cases were you assigned in 2012 when you became a Superior Court DA?
Variety, pretty much ran the whole gamut. Narcotics cases, sexual assault cases, child abuse cases, breaking and entering, armed robbery, whatever I was assigned, that's what I did.
How long after you got to the DA's office did you start trying what they call life felonies?
I don't understand the line of inquiry. Everybody who is in the DA's office is responsible for complying with Rule 14 and is expected to know that the DA's office is. I don't.
Got to the DA's office.
Robbery cases, child abuse cases, breaking and entering, armed robbery, whatever I was assigned, that's what I did.
How long after you got to the DA's office did you start trying what they call life felonies?
I don't understand the line of inquiry. Everybody who is in the DA's office is responsible for complying with Rule 14 and is expected to know the confines of Rule 14 and to comply with it. So the backstory here is not particularly useful. What I want to know is what ADA Lally did in this instance.
Understood, Judge. In any event, when were you assigned to the Miles King case? Brianna Gardner, I'm sorry.
Probably within a day or two.
I'm going to look.
A day or two of what?
Of the shooting and the murder occurring.
Okay. And how do you get assigned in the district attorney's office? Do they email you? Do they call you? How do they do that?
Objection.
Overruled.
I received a call from the first assistant.
And who would that have been at the time?
At the time, that would have been ADA Lynn Beelan.
Okay. And did she tell you were assigned to this homicide case?
Yes.
And what does that mean to you, being assigned to a homicide case? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, at that point, it was an investigation. So as far as assisting with the investigation, should charges arise, handling the prosecution from there out.
Okay. So once you get assigned to the Miles King, Brianna Gardner.
Okay, so I had to figure out who Brianna Gardner is. So this individual was indicted in relation to the Miles King's alleged murder as an accessory after the murder. So that's who that is. So apparently or allegedly, Gardner was in a relationship with King. And I suppose that's where these accessory, or that's where the accessory charge stems from. Okay, let's see. I think that's about it. I had to know who that was.
Gardner case. Is there a policy within the Assistant District Attorney's Office in Norfolk County on how to gather information that's required under Rule 14?
Objection.
Overruled.
A specific policy, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, so there's no policy that you're aware of in the DA's office that that details how to gather information. Is that what you're saying?
Not that specific to that, no, not that I know of.
So how do you gather information, and how did you gather information in the King Gardner case that was required under Rule 14? What did you do?
Objection. Just specify what is, it's too vague.
Overruled. Question is, what did you do?
So what I
And
do,
I think we can take it in chronological order. We'll start at the beginning and then we'll have follow-up questions.
sure. So what I do is what I do in every case, depending on how many different departments are involved. In this case, there was a local department and state police involvement. So I would make appropriate requests for any and all information that they had, any information that, you know, specifically I could outline or delineate as far as what I felt was relevant. And
Stop right there. How would you make those requests?
Typically what I would do is write out a formal discovery request, submit the form to any involved departments, and communicate either via phone or email to whoever the relevant party was that I was requesting discovery from.
When you say discovery forms, what do you put on? What did you put on the form in this case for Gardner and King?
Initially, it would be for any and all police reports, any and all photographs, any and all information as to who was present, lab reports, if they had access to fire department, run reports, any lab personnel that responded to the scene, so that I would have an idea as to whether or not there was testing that was going to be conducted or items have been.
When does this thing heat up? Hold on. On it all night. When does it heat? Hold on. I don't see any timestamps.
Recovered from the scene, copies of any and all search warrants, including applications, affidavits, copy of the warrants, any returns.
And let me stop you there. Do you have a memory in this case of asking for all the information that you just told you normally ask? Did you do that in the Brianna Gardner and Miles King case? Did you ask for all of that information?
Yes, and just for clarity purposes, when I'm initially doing this, it's not the Miles King and Brianna Gardner case.
It's just an investigation.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, and more to that point, Ms. Gardner didn't become a focus of the investigation until later on.
Okay. So while you were investigating without a defendant being a suspect, at least not initially, you asked which departments for this information?
The State Police, Norfolk County Detective Unit, as well as the Milton Police.
I can't hear you. What was the last one?
Milton Police.
Milton Police. Okay, so you asked Milton Police, you asked the State Police. Who in Milton Police did you ask, and who in the State Police did you ask
Alexa, school
to
bus
send information?
Friday at 9 p.m.
The Milton Police would have been, at that time, Lieutenant Michael Collins. The State Police would have been Trooper Michael Proctor, as he was a case officer, and Lieutenant Brian Tully.
And so you have emails going to all three of them asking for all of the information that you just listed, which would be normal information that you'd ask in any case after a homicide. Is that right?
Yes.
And did let's just take Mr. Proctor, Trooper Proctor, did he respond to you?
Yes.
And what did he provide you?
At varying...
No, to the extent he recalls, he can testify.
So at varying times, there were different productions of material, whether it was what was available at that time. So initially it would have been just whatever reports were available at that time. Later on would have been photographs, video.
So how often would you say you emailed or communicated with the State Police, and specifically Trooper Proctor or Trooper Tully, regarding discovery in this case?
I cannot tell you how many times via email, but I mean, it was a constant conversation, particularly throughout the grand jury process as far as discovery was concerned.
Okay. So when you say a constant process, was there a time period where you asked for stuff and you didn't get it, so you were re-asking for it, or is it always new information that you're getting from the State Police?
I think it would vary. I think there were certainly items that I probably had to ask for more than
Lally?
once, but there were definitely items that I had asked for and was provided promptly, and then moved on from there to either additional information or that avenue was complete.
So do you keep records of, I asked for search warrants, I asked for crime lab stuff, I asked for witness statements? Do you keep records when you receive that information to be able to check off to say, I got these things, they're no longer outstanding, and the rest of this is?
I mean, I keep records in the sense of a list of items I'm looking for, and obviously when I receive something, then yeah, that would get checked off the list as far as I'm not looking for that anymore because I have it.
Okay. So if you got a set of grand jury minutes from a witness that you know testified in front of the grand jury, you'd check that off your list?
Well, as far as yes, I mean, I was at the grand jury, so I know who testified at the grand jury, but as far as receiving the minutes, yes, I'm aware of the dates, and when I received the minutes, then that would check that off the list.
I missed, I think, a question and answer, one question earlier. I think the question was, do you keep records of what you requested? What was your answer to that question?
So records, as far as what was requested, I would always have, at least in some form, some sort of running list of items I was looking for. And then if I received an item, then that would be something that would be off the list. Now that list would be obviously added to as information develops, and there might be additional items that I'm looking for.
And presumably because it's on the list, you've made the request?
Yes.
Okay.
And so you'd have whatever's on the list, you'd have emails requesting that information. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then if they emailed back, you'd have checks off of your list that you got whatever it was. You know, maybe you were asking for 10 things and you got 5. You'd check those 5 things off your list. Is that right?
Yes.
Is there any other mechanism you used to document what you got from, just right now we're talking about the State Police, Trooper Tully and Trooper Proctor?
I'm sorry, any other mechanism of doing what again?
Keeping track of what they're producing for you. Is it all just emails and check marks on a list? Or is there some other way that you keep track as well?
No, I mean, it would be something that I would have a list of items that are outstanding that would be, followed up on if they hadn't been received at that point, and then I would follow up with whoever the appropriate person was to get copies of those.
And these lists remain in the file? Your lists with the check marks remain in the file?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And have you reviewed any of them before you testified here today?
No,
Okay. Is there a reason you didn't review the file before you testified here today?
I don't have the file.
You work for the DA's office, right?
I do.
And it's in the DA's office, right?
Yes.
And you knew you were going to be asked questions about this case, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do anything to educate yourself about what you did initially on the case?
Objection. This is her witness.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that as an objection, but I'm going to sustain the objection as to the relevance. He did not review the file. Next question.
So what did you review in preparation for your testimony here today?
I reviewed,
Yeah, basically, for an objection, there's specific grounds for making an objection, and that's definitely a new one. Where the prosecutor is saying that this is the defense attorney's witness, and he's basically saying that it's improper, or this line of questioning is improper. That's not a valid ground to object.
reviewed portions of the file. I reviewed some of the items that have been produced by ADA Hickman. I reviewed search warrants. I reviewed police reports. I reviewed, you were asking me specifically as far as checklists or notations. I didn't review those, but I did review, I have portions of the file. I have access to the file, and I did review portions of the file.
Okay. So you did review portions of the file? Is what you're saying now?
Oh, yes.
You just didn't review your checklist?
No.
Okay. Now, in terms of the Milton Police Department, do you also have emails going back and forth to the Milton Police Department asking for certain documents?
Yes.
And who in the police, would that be Lieutenant Collins?
Yes.
Anyone else in the Milton Police Department were you looking for documents from?
On this case, I don't believe so, no.
And did you keep the same type of list that you kept for the state police of outstanding things that you were looking for the Milton Police Department?
Yes.
And what did you get back from the Milton Police Department? Do you remember?
Items of a similar nature that they had access to, as far as police reports, photographs. I don't believe Milton did any of the search warrants in this case, but other items of discovery, video that they recovered, that there's a litany of different items.
A litany of different items? Did you
Yes.
say? Okay. And those would all be memorialized by email? Is that how you did it?
Yes, that's, I think, what Mr. McGee attached as Exhibit 1. It's about 137 pages.
Of emails back and forth between the Milton Police Department and you?
Correct.
And so at what point do you know that you have all of, so other than, strike that, Milton Police, State Police, any other person or entity that you sought information for in this case?
Certainly.
I'm sorry?
Sure.
Yes.
Who's that?
Be the Officer of the Chief Medical Examiner, be the State Police Crime Lab. There were some items that were outsourced to Bodie Technology Lab in Lorton, Virginia, where they did some additional forensic testing pursuant to DNA. They have different methods that our lab does not. Milton Fire Department, I believe Fallon paramedics were involved in the transport of the victim, Mr. Simmons. That's all I can think of at this point.
Okay. And would you communicate with those agencies the same way you communicated with the State Police and the Milton Police via email?
For the most part, could have been a phone call on some of those
All right, so let's
issues.
stop there. If there was a phone call, how did you memorialize what you requested and what they said in a phone call?
Notes.
You have individual notes.
Yes,
And where would those notes be right now?
in the file.
Okay. So do you keep like a running page of all the notes that you've taken in the case with communications that you had with all of the other entities and officers?
Oh no, there's not much Well, there's not additional, I don't hear any additional information apart from what we read in the article. I'll keep it playing for a little bit, but I'm here for another 20 minutes and then I need to go.
In state police in this case?
Not all in one location, but it would be sort of divided up by different entities as far as what I was requesting from that specific entity and what I was looking for, what I was still waiting for, what was still outstanding, things of that nature.
Okay. So what happens when you ask for something, let's just say from the state police, and they don't give it to you? What's the next thing you do?
The next thing I do would be to ask for it again.
Okay. How many times do you ask for it before you have a meeting with the state police to look at their file?
Objection. The biggest objection I have here is that we're not speaking about any individual document, any individual date, vague questions about
Yeah, this is general practice,
General practice.
generally Mr. Lally's
Okay.
practice. I think part of the issue here is we don't have very specific items that are being referred to.
Right.
But I think I'm going to overrule the objection and give Attorney Scapiccio a little bit of leeway here in terms of general practice.
So in general, how many times do you email for the same document before you go to the state police and start to have a sit down with them?
I think it varies. I think it would be depending on a lot of different factors as far as what the item is, what the explanation is for why I don't have it yet, whether it's not available or whether it's something that they're currently working on, or if it's something that I know has been completed and I've asked for it multiple times and I still don't have it. I'm not saying that even happened in this case, but if in a general practice, if that were something that were going on, then yes, I would want to sit down with somebody and figure out exactly what's going on.
Okay. So let me ask specific questions about this case. When you reached out, let's start with Trooper Proctor. In this case, looking for information, and there were emails back and forth. Were there any occasions where you did not get the documents or the information that you were seeking from Trooper Proctor?
I don't recall anything specific other than if it was a situation where I'm looking for a report about something and that report hasn't been completed yet, or that item hasn't been obtained yet for whatever reason. But I don't recall in this case ever asking for something and just not getting it.
Do you remember asking Trooper Proctor for the search warrants that he did in this case?
Yes.
And the affidavits accompanying the search warrants?
Yes.
And did he provide them to you?
What I received was a partial affidavit for search warrant.
Did he provide them to you, yes or no?
Everything.
Some.
How many search warrants do you recall there being in the King Gardner case?
What, 6?
In 2021 or beyond?
Let's start with 2021. How many search warrants? You guys pulled the search warrants?
6.
6. When you asked, and he signed all 6 search warrants, is that fair to say?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. And so when did you ask Trooper Proctor for the search warrants?
In July or August of 2021 when they were filed for.
Okay. And when did you get all 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor?
I didn't get all 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor.
You did not?
I did not.
Okay. So did you get 1 search warrant from him?
From him specifically, I received a portion of the affidavit for search warrant 306 and the entire affidavit for search warrant 348.
Okay, so you got portions of 2 search warrants, and you knew there were 6 search warrants, is that right?
Yes.
Did you make notes somewhere in your file? Geez, I asked Trooper Proctor for these 6 search warrants, and he hasn't given them to me yet?
I believe, yes.
Okay, those notes are in your file?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, and then when you didn't get search warrants from Trooper Proctor, did you meet with him?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, specific to that, I don't recall any specific meeting related to search warrants, but we did meet several times in relation to this investigation in this case.
But you understand that search warrants are Rule 14 automatic discovery, right? And you knew there were 6 search warrants, right?
I did.
And so when do you realize that you don't have all 6 search warrants? How long into the process? Do you know right away you don't have them all? Or do you not know for a long time you don't have them all?
I don't think I realized at that time that I didn't have them all.
So how, then I guess I'm confused about how your system works. You said you had a system where if you asked for something and you didn't get it, you would then follow up with the police officer asking again and again. Did you do that with Trooper Proctor in this case with the 6 search warrants?
Yes, I believe so.
How many times did you email Trooper Proctor asking for the 6 search warrants?
I don't know.
More than 10?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. How far in between each email? Did you wait a month and email him again? Did you wait a week? Did you wait a day? How long in between your requests to Trooper Proctor to produce the 6 search warrants in this case?
I don't know.
You don't?
No.
Did you review your emails before you came here today?
Some of them, yes.
Did you see any emails to and from Trooper Proctor regarding the search warrants?
Yes.
How many did you see?
I don't remember.
I don't recall.
More than 5?
Yes.
No, he
More
doesn't.
than 10?
I don't know.
What are the dates of the first time you asked Trooper Proctor for the search warrant?
Specific date, I don't know.
How long before the next time you asked him for a 6 search warrant?
Specifically, I don't know.
Was it months or weeks?
Weeks.
Weeks later. Okay,
Yes.
so that's 2 times you asked him. What about the third time? How much time went by?
I don't know.
Months or weeks?
I don't know.
What about the 4th time?
Again, I don't know how many times and I don't know specific dates.
So I guess my question is, how does your system work if you're not getting the discovery that you're asking a police officer for, and you're asked for it, let's just say 5 times? What do? Do you go to the office and you sit down and say, give me these search warrants, I have to turn them over?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes.
You go to Trooper Proctor and say, give me the search warrants because I have to turn them over.
Yes.
When did you do that?
Sometime prior to the defendant's arraignment in December of 21.
November of 21, did you say?
December of 21.
December of 21. So when you get to his office, do you go there or do you tell him to come to your office? I don't know how that works.
Either way, I don't
Remember how you met about the search warrants the first time?
the,
In other words, did he come to you or you go to him?
I don't know.
Okay. So you have a sit down
Yes.
and you ask him for the 6 search warrants. And what does he say?
You will get them to me.
He will get them to you.
Yes.
Okay. If you tell him I have an obligation to turn this over because it's Rule 14 discovery, I need it right away, I've asked for it 5 times, what's the deal?
Those specific words, no, but the gist, yes.
Well, tell me what you said specifically.
I don't know.
It doesn't
Well,
recall.
give me a best estimate of what you said to Trooper Proctor after you asked 5 times the
Objection.
search warrants that he didn't turn over.
Sustained.
So, did you keep any notes of your conversations with Trooper Proctor when you were asking for these 6 search warrants that he didn't give you?
No.
Why not?
It was something that I knew that was outstanding. It was something that I had asked for in written form numerous times. I didn't feel the need to write a note that I asked for it again.
So that's the first sit down. Did you send emails after the first sit down saying, hey, you promised me you're going to send these 6 search warrants, I still don't have them?
Objection, assuming facts.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the
Did you
question?
send another email to Trooper Proctor after you had the sit down at sometime in December of 2021 saying, hey, you still didn't send those 6 search warrants, can you send them over?
Yes.
How far after Mr. King's arraignment in December of 2021 did you send that email to Trooper Proctor?
I don't know.
Was it a year?
I don't think so, no.
I have about 10
What do you think?
minutes.
What's your best estimate of when you sent that email after you sat down with Trooper Proctor?
What's up, Brooklyn?
I would say probably a few months later.
Brooklyn's getting up as I'm about to leave. I have about 10 minutes and then I need to go feed myself. But I did go to 34 Fairview. I went to CF McCarthy. I went to One Meadow. The videos, I have to edit the videos sometime this week. And I definitely have some thoughts about my observations at 34 Fairview So we'll eventually get into that. Hopefully you had a good weekend, my friend.
All right. A few months.
Yes.
So February, March of 2022, is that what you're thinking?
I don't recall specifically.
So when you're in this room with Trooper Proctor asking about the 6 search warrants, do you ask him for his file? Like, give me your whole file so I can go through it and figure out what's in it?
No.
Why not? You're there. There's outstanding discovery. You have the obligation, not the police officer. Why don't you ask?
I entrusted that whatever discovery I was requesting, I would get at some point in a timely fashion and then turn it over.
But you didn't get it. You asked for it 5 times. You didn't get it. You had to go see him. You have him right there now, and you still don't say, give me your file? Let me go through it?
No, I did not.
And when he says you'll get the search warrants, I'll send them to you. Did he have them? Did he have copies of the search warrants? He just wasn't giving them to you?
That I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Well, you don't get the search warrants in any event after that sit down, and you send another email. What's Trooper Proctor's response to that email?
Again, I don't know that I sent another email, but I know that there were subsequent conversations about it. Whether it was what format it was in, I don't know.
Okay, and at this point, you have to be getting a little upset with Trooper Proctor that you're asking for information that he's not giving you, right?
Objection. Overruled.
I'm sorry, your question again?
You have to be getting a little upset at Trooper Proctor that you're asking him for information that he's not giving you, right?
I wouldn't say upset, frustrated probably.
I'm sorry?
Frustrated probably.
Oh. Judge, can we approach sidebar just briefly?
What's wrong? Do you not like the answer?
I know.
Sure.
In any event, ADA Lally, a couple of months goes by, you still don't have the 6 search warrants. What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I specific to the 6 search warrants, I don't recall as far as there was a topic that was discussed repeatedly. Obviously, I never received them because I never provided them to you or to Ms. Costa.
Okay. So I guess what I'm saying is you knew they existed and you knew that, let me say this, you knew that all six search warrants existed. Is that right?
Yes, we went through all six of the search warrants on the last day of the grand jury presentation on November 19th, 2021. But that's in the grand jury minutes as far as going through each of the materials, each of the search warrants, that they were search warrants, how that material was obtained, and the material that was returned in response to 3 of the search warrants was marked as grand jury exhibits 33, 34, and 35.
Right, but not the search warrant.
Correct. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry.
Information in front of the grand jury about 6 search warrants that you hadn't seen, and you put returns or information that had been returned in front of the grand jury on search warrants you had never seen.
So with
Answer that question.
And I'm trying to. So
okay.
With regard to those 3 search warrants, that was 306, 307, and 329, which were the call detail records for your client, the victim, Mr. Simmons, and Mr. Jeanette. The materials also that came back from the cell phone providers also contained a copy of the warrant, as well as the addendum to the warrant, which was then also provided to you and Ms. Costa in discovery.
But not the warrants themselves.
No, the warrants themselves and the addendums, not the application and not the affidavit.
Right. So you understand that in order to make a determination as to whether or not you're going to suppress certain information, you actually need what you asked for and what you, in the affidavit that told the clerk magistrate why you had probable cause, right?
Objection.
I can take judicial notice of that, and I'm sure Mr. Lally knows that.
Okay. So,
What was the question?
Magistrate, what you asked for and what you, in the affidavit that told the clerk magistrate why you had probable cause, right?
Objection.
I can take judicial notice of that, and I'm sure Mr. Lally knows that.
Okay. So, you get in front of the grand jury. When do you present this case to the grand jury?
Began in July of 2021. That grand jury sat in July, August, and September. The presentation had not been completed at that point, so there was a motion to extend the grand jury. And I believe there was one subsequent date that we went before them on November 19th, 2021.
November what?
19th, 2021, that's when indictments were returned.
In 2021.
Correct.
Okay. So at some point when Mr. King is arraigned, you understand at that point, Rule 14 kicks in, right?
Yes, I mean, I'm thinking about Rule 14 well before that.
Okay. And you know, when you arraign Mr. King, you still don't have the search warrant. You have another conversation with Trooper Proctor about, hey, where are these search warrants? I have to turn them over.
I'm sure I did.
And you know when that would have been?
I don't.
Okay. And then remember at some point in December of 2021, receiving a discovery notice from me. Okay, Prosecutor Toronto.
Yes.
This is just my discovery notice.
That a discovery motion or what is
Motion,
that?
I'm sorry, motion, Judge.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember, after having filed this motion, you asked the time to go through and make sure that you can comply with all the requests, right?
Yes.
And you didn't have any specific objections to anything that I was asking for, right?
At that time, no.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sorry, Judge.
Is that an exhibit? Is that a docket entry?
It is a docket entry, Judge.
Do you know what it is?
I think it
Or we can mark that just so that there's a record of what you're showing the witness?
has my writing on it, Judge. So
All right,
I want to
so-
mark it. But I'll do it after the hearing. I'll find the
Brooklyn
exhibit and I'll make a
says-
clean copy and
Brooklyn wants to know, what's your takeaway being boots on the ground in Canton? What do local people think about it? I did not talk to anybody out there about the case. I wanted to when I went to the gas station. It was listen, Canton is actually, it's a pretty nice town. It's really nice. I wanted to ask the ladies at the gas station. They were actually very friendly out there. People in Boston usually aren't friendly, but they were friendly out there in Canton. Went to a gas station. I wanted to ask whether a lot of folks actually frequent, because this gas station was kind of sandwiched between One Meadow and 34 Fairview. It's halfway, it's like midpoint for those two destinations. I wanted to ask them about it, but I'm like, that's probably a weirdo take. It's probably a weirdo take. They're like, I thought she was normal, but she's a little off. So yeah, did not talk to anybody out there, at least not about the case. But I do have thoughts about 34 Fairview itself. Okay. And then, and One Meadow is actually a gorgeous house. I know it's unrelated, but it's a gorgeous house in person. I suppose most of the videos that I've seen of One Meadow have been at night. I don't know that I've really watched a lot of video of that residence. And it's usually about, the videos that I've primarily seen have been of Karen Reed backing out. But it's a stunning home. Very, very beautiful home. Gorgeous home. My daughter did not understand what on earth I was doing. She thought we were like house hunting or something. That's what she thought we were doing. But that's just being out there, nosy, gathering information, which really makes no difference to the trial. But yeah, I don't know. Actually, now that I need to go back. I might have to go back and just start interviewing random people. Start interviewing random people at a gas station, asking them about their thoughts on the Karen Reed trial. Yeah, I don't want to bother people. Even when I went to 34 Fairview, there's a part of me that felt guilty just because, I was not doing anything. I was not on anybody's property, did not get out the car. I was in public, okay? But I felt guilty about being as grown as I am, going around somewhat bothering people, because a lot of folks do actually go look at these homes, at least 34 Fairview primarily, um, there's a part of me that just felt guilty about doing that or being sucked into that world. But I was curious. And it's not really out of the norm for me to go to crime scenes. I used to do that all the time when I lived in Mississippi. But it's, I was not on YouTube and I was not documenting it. But this time it kind of felt a little different.
Send it to the court judge. So once you get the discovery notice, you know for sure that there are certain categories of information that we're looking for, right?
Yes,
And number one is all automatic mandatory discovery under Rule 14, right?
correct.
Would you consider those search warrants automatic mandatory discovery under Rule 14? Okay. And we were looking for any and all statements of witnesses, is that right?
Yes,
And we were looking for all exculpatory information, whether
The
tangible.
document speaks for itself.
Okay, that's fine, Judge. So after I filed this motion to December of 2021, you have another conversation with Trooper Proctor saying, give me the 6 search warrants.
I'm sure I did. My general practice is if there is any discovery motion that's filed by counsel, what I'll do is I'll send that to the appropriate police personnel as far as making requests and making sure that they're apprised of what's been at least asked for.
Excuse me. And did you do that in this case? Did you send my motion for discovery to Trooper Proctor, to the Milton Police, to the crime lab, to the medical examiner's office? Did you send it to all of those entities?
Every motion that you filed, yes.
Okay. And then what do you do to follow up with each of those entities? Let's start with the state police. They get a copy of my discovery motion. You're looking for all of the evidence that they have, and specifically these 6 search warrants that, for whatever reason, Trooper Proctor hasn't given you. When you follow up, how long does it take you to follow up from the time that you give them the motion until you get an answer from them?
Typically, I don't know. Typically, I would give it a couple of weeks or so.
And after a couple, and in this case, did you give it a couple of weeks, you think?
Probably.
Okay.
So this man got on the stand to not recall. I suppose defense probably should have anticipated this. All right, folks, I'm calling it a night. I have a hearing tomorrow, so I do have to get a decent amount of sleep, and I definitely have to have some dinner, okay? Let us reconvene. We're back to our regular schedule. So what is that? That's Tuesdays. Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we will reconvene on Friday. No. What am I saying? We'll reconvene on Thursday. I suppose that will bring us somewhere close to I'll bring us somewhere close to an end in that Washington v. Ali and Ali trial. Oh, never mind. Disregard that. On Thursday, we'll cover Brian Kohlberger. He gets sentenced tomorrow. So that is what we'll cover. I'm sure the Washington trial or the alleged honor killing trial will still be underway. All right, folks, have a good Wednesday and Thursday. Let us reconvene on Thursday. All right. Have a good night.